We are live, y'all. Hey, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Not quite for this video, but that's okay. We are here. We are live. This is House of Villains Season 3, Episode 4, Recap and Review. Joining us on my channel, as always, is my co-host, my bestie in the whole world, Hujishan. Y'all forgive her. Mrs. Best. Say what's up to her, y'all.
Hello and apologies. That was really bad timing. You know, you're trying to hold a yawn too, because you're like,
Don't hold it. Just let it go. It's a yawn. Like, we good.
it's been a long day, y'all. But I'm happy to be here.
It has been a long day, y'all. So this is House of Villains. This is not going to be a long review because this episode confused me. And the only entertainment that we really did have was the entertainment of New York. She gave this episode, y'all. When I tell you, I was hollering the entire time she was on camera. I was just hollering. So the episode picks up where it left off, where we were seeing who Johnny Bananas chose for his top 3 eliminations. So we know that Anfisa, New York, and Bobby Lights were up for the chopping block. Bobby was shocked by this. And if you guys watched my recap last week, I said this is what a lot of gay boys do, is that they try to play on the emotions and feelings of straight men. And when straight men kind of play along with that and they get, kind of like a flirtation going on, then when the straight dude switches, then you want to get mad. And I said that I need gay men to stop doing that because you can't put your emotions into somebody who is identifiably straight. No matter how much he tries to play with you, he's not going to give up his persona. And I think that's what Bobby was doing. Because when they got out of the elimination, Bobby took that all personal. He was cooking, he made lasagna and told Johnny there's rat poison in this. And it was just crazy. How did you feel about Bobby's reaction to being put up for elimination? Do you think he took it more personal? Or do you think he just was just on drunk or something?
It was like Bobby Lights to respond. Like, if you've watched, you can find Bobby Lights everywhere. If you're in South Florida, apparently go to the club, you can see him. If you have watched the Zeus Network, he had his own dating show, basically the same thing as I Love New York or Flavor of Love, but with a bunch of men. If you watch Bobby Lights on Love and Hip Hop, wherever you watch him, this is on brand for his behavior. Like, I can't even say that he takes it personally. I think he just likes drama. If I'm being entirely honest, like Bobby Lights, I don't think it's nothing deeper than he's just problematic. Everywhere he goes, this happens. If not with Johnny, then with Stacy. If not with Stacy, then with Shaquanda. Shit, I don't know. But that's what Bobby does. Everywhere he goes. I was
like, who is Stacy?
I don't fucking know. I was listening to that song from back in the day, Stacy's Mom, before.
Oh, okay.
So it's in my head. So the name just came up. Anyway. But I'm just saying, Bobby is Bobby.
Child, don't we know it? So what I predicted in the last video, Johnny pulls Corinne to the side and reveals that the note that was written by him.
Yeah.
And I said that from the last episode. This is Johnny Bananas' MO. He's the mindfuck of them all. So when I tell you that was by him, and a lot of people were like, no, he couldn't have wrote that. A lot of people were actually speculating who did that. And I'm like, y'all have to understand, this is a game. Johnny is trying to mindfuck people to get them upset. And that's why he really couldn't do that with Anfisa. That's why he put Anfisa up. I swear that's why he put Anfisa up, because he couldn't crack her the way he could the other people. So, and that's why I say you have to watch people like Anfisa. You do. You have to watch people like her, because I'm telling you, the fact that you couldn't crack her, I say, yep, that's why you made you. She's a threat to you. You know that she could take this game. That's why you did that. And I say, Johnny Bananas, you ain't slick. So, I'm not going to go through New York's trauma. I'm going to leave that to the end because she did this the entire episode. I'm not going to go all through that. But if the next day comes around and basically Bobby, New York, and Anfisa get their challenge without the rest of the group. And what their challenge is they have to make the house manipulate the house into doing strange tasks that are on a list for them. I think it was up to 15 tasks, and whoever did the most would be safe from elimination. I'm not gonna go through every task because what I'm gonna say about this is E Network. That was a really stupid game. It was a really stupid game because I feel like they do this without even being told to do this. So the fact that y'all reiterated another thing that they already do is kind of like y'all really didn't have any ideas for strategies or games. Like y'all really did not have any ideas.
I feel like this show is thrown together because E doesn't know what to do. It seems like since the Kardashians, like E tries with shows, but I feel like they've kind of given up, if that makes sense. Like they seem to navigate shows now, reality TV since the Kardashians in the way that's like they know that they'll never be able to have a show as big as the Kardashians. And it's impacting. I used to watch E all the time. Now I'm only watching it for this show because I have to be here. But you know what I'm trying to say? Like I'm not. I like this show. I think they had such a good idea, but the games, the 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 games, the casting, the everything is just. It feels like they didn't put the effort they could have put into it. If that makes sense. I don't know if
I
I'm.
agree, and I feel like for me watching this, I was like, I'm not with this game. That's why I'm not really gonna talk about it because it was stupid. They had pushed people in the pool and Feast squirting ketchup on Johnny. Bobby Lights trying like it was just so ridiculous to watch this game. I feel like they could have came up with something better. So E
Yeah,
Network and y'all call center, I need y'all to feedback from the headquarters. I need y'all to let them know if you need creative directing, I am available. I would have came up with a whole bunch of strategies and games. But as I said, I don't negotiate my prices. My price is my price. So there it is. I'm not going to play with y'all because this game was stupid. Now, one of the things I am going to parking lot this game, and I'm going to talk about, was how everybody in the house were really trying to strategize to who was going to go home. Omarosa was working overtime. She was all like, "We need to, Antifa's not a threat for New York. I feel like I'm not intimidated by New York. I feel like we need to keep her and get rid of Antifa." It was like she was doing all this, and I was like, "Omarosa, we see you. We know what you're doing." But at the same time, I understood the frustration Tanisha had with you. And we'll talk about it, y'all, when you get to the bowling alley. But I understood why Tanisha was frustrated with you because it felt like you were trying to play the game, but your logic was not making sense to the rest of the people. And I felt like you should have approached that differently. And everybody's doing it. It's not just Omarosa. Everybody is trying to strategize, make alliances and things. And the thing about it is, I think why this is not landing, the alliance part of it is because there's not enough people.
boom.
There's not enough
On
people
most
to make alliance.
competition reality shows, apologies for interrupting, but on most competition reality shows, at the beginning of the seasons, there's 20 to 25 people competing. This is a house of barely like 10 people. You got to think the shows they come from, Johnny Fairplay, when they start a Survivor season, they get broken up into three different, sometimes four different tribes. On each tribe, they'll have like 10 people. So you got to think there's four tribes, that's 40 fucking people that Johnny Fairplay was able to outwit, outplay, outlast. On the challenge, they have 35, sometimes 40 contestants. I'm not understanding why E thought they could do this with a cast so small, especially when you call it villains, because it's harder for villains to form alliances. So you
I
need
think
more people.
that no, and I agree with you. I actually was going to say that. I think it's hard. Yeah, I think it's hard for them to form alliances because when you think about it, it's only 10 of them,
Mm-hmm.
and the games and all of them are manipulative. So it's like if they had maybe 20 people, then maybe I might feel differently. But no, the fact that they had 10 is like it really is roadkill at this point. Like y'all is just laying there and it's just taking all of this. Like I just no, it just was not fit. So going back to the game, now that we parking lot that and going back to it now, Johnny Fairplay ends up figuring out that their New York Bobby Lights and Anfisa are doing a challenge. And so he's making little comments and telling everybody else, hey, don't do what they ask you because this is a challenge. This is a challenge. And there was a particular one that Bobby had. I think it was Bobby. No, it was New York. New York had the one where they had to push somebody in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And he whispers to Bananas, "Hey, they're playing the game. Don't do it." And Bobby Lights immediately gets offended. Now, see, and this is what I tell you: Bobby Lights needs to figure out his emotions because I would have played that off. How you know this is a challenge? I would have threw it back on him and made him
Right.
feel stupid for even asking me that, and then worked my way through it. But he didn't do that, so I was like, "See,
Bobby
this is
Lights
why."
comes from the type of reality TV where the producers shove a bunch of alcohol in their faces and then film what happens. So I don't I don't think he got no sense on how to
I
read
don't.
his emotions. Because I was thinking the same thing. Like, why would you it I mean, I feel like an elementary student, no, like, I guess that is shady, so I can't say no shade, but I truly feel like a child would have been able to figure out how to like turn that off of them. But Bobby was like, "What? No. Why would you do like relax? Relax."
That's what we're all saying. We're all saying like, relax. I would have said, this is a game. I just maybe want to see somebody in the pool. This is a pool party. Like I would have had so much fun, and that's why I'm saying he doesn't know how to keep his composure. So that's what gave it away right there. That was the game, and I'm like, y'all are stupid. So then the little thing comes on talking about all guests coming to the living room. We're gonna have a special
Just
guest.
all of it that the little thing comes
The
up.
little thing, like it just that's what it is. Hell. So now keep in mind when the game says when the special guest arrives, the game is over. So New York is stressing out. And she's like, "Oh my God, I didn't even get anybody. I didn't even get anybody. Like, I need more people." And she was just panting. So that gave it away right there that was also a game. The only one who kept her cool the entire time was Anfisa. And I'm shocked by the results of this. We're going to get to it in just a second. So Tanisha's back in the house. She comes downstairs and she sees someone pulling up the door, and the doorbell rings. And we see that it is the ultra villain that I cannot stand for the life of me. When I tell you I do not like this lady, I think that it is ironic that she got the nerve that from what she did on her show, she got her nerve. That's all I'm gonna say. But Abby Lee Miller in a wheelchair rolls her behind in that house. And I'm like, when did Abby Lee Miller become handicapped? Someone please explain that to me.
All right. So when I was a child, my parents put me into ballet and all of that. I actually got to dance with Alvin Ailey, Debbie Allen, like several good people. I will tell you that Abby Lee reminds me of every ballet instructor I've ever had. Once you get to where you're what they call in point, which essentially is doing all of the moves, pirouettes, the positions, like literally on the tip of your toe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but every dance teacher is shady as hell, a drunk, and but the one thing they all got in common is how Abby Lee is, and that's specifically in ballet. But she's handicapped. She's always had a handicap. That's why on her show she would have like another person who worked with her who would actually like move out the dances and stuff. She's always been handicapped, but I think because of her prison stay, the state don't give you the best health care, child. I think between her prison stay and the weight loss, she's been unable to maintain it all. And I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be real mean, and y'all might cancel me, but I don't care. Uh, I was just like, wow, this is odd because her head is still really big, but the rest of her is like whatever. But then I'm looking because you can't really see her body, and she likes to be in all black, and all you see are these long ass legs in a wheelchair. And I was looking, me and my husband said, "Damn, her legs are hella long in that chair. Why can't they move?" I want to know what she did to even get her to the point where she couldn't dance. Because she was
I
cussing the kids out like she could do a fucking pirouette.
I mean, I'm telling you, that's why I never watched that show because I'm like, how dare you? Can you kick your leg up to your forehead?
No.
Okay, then what the hell we talking about here? That's why I'm saying I'm not. That's why I don't like her. I can't stand people like that until you can execute what come out your mouth. I don't want to hear you.
That is
I
dance
don't want to
though.
hear you.
Half of the dance
I
teachers,
look,
none of
look. I
them
do not care.
dance. They all had someone there. I've done that for
Look,
jobs.
I didn't seen a couple clips. She couldn't hear. Every time she walked, she couldn't breathe. I'm not. No, we're not gonna do this with you. I got the nerve to yell at them little girls like that. No, I'm sorry. I cannot. I can't with her. So that's why I said when I saw her, I was like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
she's a child. I was like, okay, Carol Baskin, it's like, okay, there's an alleged thing, but essentially the law felt compelled that if anything, she was in danger against Tiger King man. So she didn't really do nothing that's like, but anything
Right.
where so like part of the reason I stopped dancing was because of how they be talking to the kids and stuff. It can impact you. My mom was a therapist, she wasn't having it. But like Abby Lee Miller, like I was a huge fan of that show because I think everyone watched the show like, is she really talking to these kids like that? And then she would go and cuss out their parents or get into it with their parents and be like, yeah, all right, Trisha, so you can't dance in this. You were already struggling anyway because your mom is a fucking bitch. I'd be like, whoa, wait a minute, Abby Lee. Abby Lee is something else. I didn't understand why she was there.
I didn't either. No, she's definitely a villain. No, I understand why she was there. But at the same time, I don't like her, and I'm glad that like they really are sticking to Q to inviting people who are known TV villains that I feel like could have been cast members. I mean, granted, she couldn't be a cast member on the show, obviously, but it was one of those situations where I was like, oh god, they have to really put her on here. Good job, E Network. Y'all got one right. Y'all did. Y'all got one right. Thank
Can
you.
somebody give me and James a shot? Like, I don't have production experience, but
We don't. Yeah,
I have
we can
full.
be in the we can be in the background.
I have advanced in APA and MLA. All right. Like I can type, listen, because I feel like me and you could come up with a better villain show than this. The thing,
Absolutely.
they overdid it, and we keep saying it, but when you have a house full of villains, less is more. The personalities that were on this cast, less is more. I would have loved to see them all for like the full, whatever the fuck, however many weeks the season is, and just in the house, because you know there would have been problems. Look at Jax. He went home first. Imagine if he would have stayed in the house with all of them the whole time. He would have drove them crazy and gave us good television between his snoring and being messy. You know, why send them home? They're villains. They got kicked off of
No,
their
I would have sent them home, but see, and E Network in that call center, do not take this idea because I will come get y'all. I'm not playing. If I was the creative director of this show, what I would have done is I would have made them work random jobs. And what they would do is if they got fired, like if, let's say like their top three got fired from the job, they would be up for elimination. And what they had to do is they would have to go back to that same job a second day, and whoever it was that can do a task in that job the best would be safe from elimination. The other two would go home. That's how I would do it.
That's
I would
fair
make them.
too.
I would make them have a job that like an everyday job, like working at like a fast food place, janitors or amusement parks. I would make them do something that was incredibly hard for them to do because none of them have had real jobs in years. So I would make them do that and then see who would last and
Yeah.
do
I
and
mean,
base it
New
up on
York
that.
had a whole show about that years ago to Tiffany or New York Goes to Work or some shit. It was
She was doing acting and stuff. That wasn't the same thing. No, I ain't talking about that type of show.
still, but I'm still saying like they did that concept because when you have the villains work jobs, I think that's something you say that a lot on our show that they need to bring back to reality TV. It centers them. It makes it a little less easy to watch, and
No, I
it's
think it actually be more entertaining to watch. Like if they were trying to sell a boat and they couldn't do it, I think that would be entertaining as hell. Like they can't even sell a boat. Like you see New York over there struggling because she's trying to keep her wig intact. And you see Tanisha out of breath, you know, and because she's talking about how she out of shape. She talks about that all the time. I would want to see that. Like I really would. I would pay to see that. So yeah. No, they need to do something. They need a different concept. E Network, I promise y'all, don't come out live. Don't you do it. I want my check. I'm saying, I want my check. If y'all take my idea, I want my check.
James.
Anyways, moving on. So so Abby Lee Miller makes them all put on these damn tutus and start dancing, except for the ones who are up for elimination. They're all confused. They don't know what's going on. So they all try to put at this dance routine and they all look stupid. And then she says, I hope y'all feel stupid because this wasn't even a challenge. They have already done their challenge. And everyone's like, what? They did? When? And it was like, I can't with y'all. Y'all are the worst actors ever.
I
Y'all were doing
understand why we had to. Maybe E should have gave this show to MTV, where I believe there's like actual teenagers watching. It's been some time since I've been a teen. However, comma, I feel like when they do shit like that, it automatically makes me like, okay, this has become TV 14, PG.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like
I feel that the same exact way. So they then move on to announce, or Abby Lee Miller announces who's the winner. And she said it's Bobby Lights. Bobby gets happy, emotional, all type of different emotions all at one time. But he tells Johnny Bananas, game on. And I was like, see, Bobby, you could just take that win and just say, okay, in the confessional, and now it's on. But you had to really do all the dramatics because all you're doing is painting a bigger target on yourself. Because every time whoever's in that chair is going to eliminate you unless you win every challenge going forward. And I know you're not going to win every challenge. So that's just really like, you just really being crazy at this point. So then the house goes bowling. And I'm going to keep it real with you. When they pulled Tanisha aside to talk about, her vote, between New York and Corinne, I understood what Omarosa was saying. I did, because she's playing the game. She's manipulating. I felt like Tanisha overreacted.
yeah,
How did you feel?
yeah.
You
Tanisha,
did?
I don't feel like Tanisha's like operating like she's on the Bad Girls Club. Like you can tell, like she's one of those people who has her routines, and no matter where she goes, if she's booked or what she's doing, she's gonna keep her routine. So I don't know. I feel like in the house, she's just kind of wake up, get coffee, hang around the same people, participate, hope to win. Within the next day, wake up, get coffee, and in the same order. So she's kind of boring. And when she was on Bad Girls Club, let's keep it real. Tanisha was interesting because she overreacts, as James is alluding to now, which I agree that she did overreact on the show. But that's what Tanisha's always done. She overreacts, but when she's not overacting, she's just like, it's like, okay,
Hmm.
really care.
And when she did overreact, it then gets back to New York about the vote. New York played on her feelings, and I would have too, because at the end of the day, you're safe. What the hell does it matter? You keep your vote to yourself. So that's why I was like, okay, Omarosa played you, made you look stupid in front of everybody, and let your emotions get the best of you, as she always does. That's why I tell y'all, you gotta be careful of Omarosa. She knows what she's doing. That's why I feel like they paid her 200,000 just for her appearance. And
Omarosa, listen, the Republican guzzling woman that she is. Um, Lord, I will say that she is more seasoned than this entire cast. I believe she's herself and Johnny Fairplay are probably the oldest people there, but she's probably the oldest person with maturity in the house. Uh, as much as people dislike her for political reasons, like we have to remember, y'all, like we watching a show. Politics is not in everything. And when you think of this cast and take personal feelings that people have with politics out of it, she is the only person here who has sense, is consistently playing the game in some way, and understands the point of being on TV is more than just drinking alcohol, having a good time, arguing, and then doing a little challenge. So that people forget that. Omarosa, child, Tanisha, you said it yourself. You know she's in politics, and I think that's got in Tanisha's head too much and forced her to overthink what Omarosa was doing, which forced the overreaction. But Omarosa
absolutely,
knew that that would happen.
she did. She predicated on it, and it's like, okay, see, Omarosa, see, I need y'all to have sense in this house, because that was not that hard to determine what Omarosa was doing. But moving on, it's now time for the elimination, and New York and FISA go up, and as we said, the host gives them. I always forget his name. I'm sorry, y'all. I will get it together. But the
Joel,
host, Joel. Okay, Joel asks, "Okay, is there any last words you guys want to say before they cast the votes?" And FISA gives the rehearsed speech that Omarosa gave her And you know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of Melania Trump when Trump was trying to run us office. When she gave her speech and everybody said it sounded
Down
like
to the
Michelle Obama.
accent. Down to the accent. I was like,
Yes, I was like,
and for
oh
those who
my
are
god.
unsure, we gonna talk about it because my brown fist is up. And Melania Trump, I don't acknowledge her as a first lady. I just can't. Okay, I acknowledge all the others, but not her. Listen, plagiarism is never encouraged. That's all I'm gonna say. She plagiarized our good sis Michelle. I can't believe it. I was mad. My grandma was mad. I was like, how did my nana find out about this in the tabloids? She said, oh, the bitch plagiarized. I said, oh no. But she did. She did plagiarize her. I don't understand why, but I feel like Omarosa probably acted that out to get her to do that because she knew that it would be the only way to get New York to go. Or save what's her face. Omarosa is like doing this somewhere in
She's
the
on the
corner.
puppet master. She is good at it. So it's time for New York's turn, and I got to turn to Mrs. Best because she had the best impersonation of it that I have ever heard out of anybody who's recapping this show. So Mrs. Best, we're gonna do an and scene. I need you to recap exactly what New
You're gonna
York
put
speech
me on the
was.
spot.
I am
No,
because
because my
yours.
husband and me were in tears. My husband's going to work. He's like, New York's back. He said, no, this is what I'm talking about. This is why she's. He said, why does she stand? She comes up with her dress. I'm like, New York. Why are you coming to this dress? I cannot stand her. She cracked me up. But when they asked, do you have any last words? She told them, you bitches need to remember I'm the HBI motherfucking C. She said, and you bitches fail to remember the pecking order. I said, wait, you're supposed to be saving yourself, not threatening them. I want to see New York and Mama D, by the way. So then she goes on to address, I don't even, because my mom-in-law watches this. I'm so sorry to any family watching. But when it came to Omarosa addressing her, Tiffany New York Parlor looked at her, shut the fuck up, Omarosa, you come cussling. No, what she say? You dick swallowing, Republican guzzling, come taking, see you next Tuesday.
Yes. When she
Listen,
said that, I said, whoop.
I was like,
I said, wait a minute.
but the whole cast was laughing, and Omarosa tried to look like for sympathy.
Like she wasn't bothered by that comment, and she definitely was. I saw you, Omarosa. You was definitely bothered by that comment. Don't
No,
give us that.
Omarosa, listen,
She
she
was
called
pressed.
her, I want everyone to hear me. She called her a liquid comes out of body swallowing, Republican guzzling Tuesday. That's all. I'm just like, New York, why did y'all have to send her home? Because this is like this.
She went out
She's
with a bang. I
funny.
promise you.
She's funny.
That's gonna make history right there. Her saying that because I was like, wait a minute, New York, you didn't have to do her like that.
New York just, I feel like anybody who spoke wasn't safe. But I'm still chuckling from when she called Johnny Bananas a reptilian amphibian motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, I was dying.
We need, I'm going to just say it. Listen, I love New York still to this day. I'm going to forever fuck with New York because, listen, if you know, you know, I don't like talking about politics. But I think if you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent, you feel some type of way about Omarosa that's likely not positive. So I think the country came together in unity and enjoyed that statement.
Absolutely, because I was here for it. I didn't know I needed it, but New York was hilarious for that. And they sent her home, y'all. They sent New York home. I knew Anfisa wasn't going home, so I was kind of upset because I knew she was safe. Because
I
y'all
feel
got to
like she
understand,
should have been the one to go home.
I
But
do too, but I knew she wasn't. It's
yeah,
too soon. It's way too soon, and she has not done anything. So I was like, yeah, no, New York is kind of digging her grave with her tongue. So it's one of those situations where you're like, hey, you obviously want to play a game the different way, where you want to be obnoxious and blunt. And sometimes in these situations, that's not what the villains want. They want you to be manipulative, and
I
she wasn't
think
having it. I think she was just too honest for this show. I do.
I think New York is it's probably a combination of the honesty, but I also feel like she just reverted back to this behavior, which is probably why it annoyed the cast because it was a villain show. Because anybody who watches Brunch with Tiffany or has watched her on many other freaking shows, because New York is everywhere, she is back, y'all. Like, she doesn't act like this no more. So that for me is what makes me look at this show like, Network, because we can't have New York on your show acting a fool and everywhere else this normal changed woman. Doesn't make sense. But I'm gonna be sad she gone. Hopefully they keep me entertained. But
Hopefully too, because this show, y'all, is really lacking. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought I was gonna be way more entertained than this, and because these people act a fool on their own personal shows, it doesn't give me much different. I thought I was gonna see much different. So I'm gonna hold on to it because it ain't but 6 more episodes left. So I'm gonna hold on to it. But E Network, y'all got to do way better than this. Like, I'm hoping when the next couple episodes come on that y'all give us a banger, because we need it. Because this show is a snooze fest. The games are not making sense. The challenges are not making sense. And
I pretty much look forward to the end, like the eliminations, and that's if we get one in an episode. So, because the challenges, I'm not gonna lie, when the challenges come on, I start doing other shit.
Because they don't make sense. The challenges don't make sense. And it's like, we need to be able to understand. Either y'all need to give Joel better instructions, or y'all need to do something different. And as I said, I'm available, but I cost. So there we go. That was it, y'all. That was House of Villains, season 3, or season 1. Why do I have season 3 up there? I had to change that. Season 1, episode 4. And that was it, y'all. So we're gonna move it on along. The next recap I'm gonna do is Real Housewives of Potomac.
Another snooze fest.
Another snooze fest. So y'all make sure y'all. Yeah. So y'all go ahead and turn it over to my next slide. Thank you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to both of our channels. We appreciate you. We look forward to looking at your guys' comments, and we will see you on the next review, you guys. To the next time. Bye-bye.